But have you ever heard of the Internet of Things or cloud computing? Could you describe computer hardware or open source if asked to do so? Well, today I'm going to explain the Internet of Things, cloud computing, computer software, and open source, and why they are important. To summarize these topics, the Internet of Things is the ability for everyday objects to be connected to the network, allowing these devices to send and receive data. Cloud computing can be described as the ability to store and retrieve information through the use of Internet, but without the need of a hard drive. Computer hardware, on the other hand, is the opposite of cloud computing, where information is stored on a computer, only available on that device. And finally, open source is a software that can be used by anyone for free. The Internet of Things, as defined on McKinsey.com, is the network of physical objects accessed through the Internet. Sensors and actuators are embedded in objects and are linked through different networks. These networks then create data that is then sent to computers and analyzed. Types of objects that these sensors are found in include roadways, pacemakers, and other machines. The name IoT was given to the idea in 1999, but in the 80s, Coke created a machine that allowed programmers to connect to the Internet, creating the first Internet appliance. The Internet of Things allows more and more places to gain Internet access, creating new opportunities for business models, processes, and reduction of costs. The new connections from IoT allow for better information and analysis in areas such as tracking behavior, situational awareness, and sensor-driven decision analytics. When putting sensors in products, it allows for the tracking of the products to be monitored by companies. For example, rental companies put tracking devices in their cars. Retailers track behavior of their customers by using sensors that track customer profile data that are stored in membership cards. Insurance companies use these tracking sensors to keep records of where and how the car is driven, allowing for pricing to be based not solely on age and gender, but on the actual risks of driving the vehicle. These are just a few examples of tracking behavior. As with tracking behavior, IoT can be used for situational awareness. Data from large numbers of sensors can give decision makers more awareness of upcoming or occurring events. Security officers can use IoT to monitor and keep people out of restricted areas. Another example of IoT helping with situational awareness is with police officers who can get data immediately from sonic sensors that help identify locations of crime and gunfire. Finally, IoT can better give information in areas of sensor-driven decision analytics. Examples of this would be retail companies that are studying ways to get data from shoppers while they are shopping. This data includes information on how long shoppers stay in a certain area of the store and records what they end up buying. This will also help increase revenues by optimizing retail layouts. Another example of this would be monitoring patients' behavior and symptoms in real time and at lower costs, and also allowing physicians the ability to better diagnose the disease. With the enhancement of information and analysis, there also comes enhancement in decision making. In addition, the data collected through IoT is able to be turned into instructions and resent to then change processes. This process can help raise productivity and eliminate the need for human interactions. IoT changes the way that actual value is produced, focusing not only on physical products but web-based services. IoT eliminates the need for human-to-human or human-to-computer interaction in the process of data transfer. There is now no need for humans to deal with data transfer at all. There is now a new economy that is solely software-based, while the old economy companies are faced with challenges of converting their products into smart products. Cloud computing, as stated earlier, is defined as the ability to store and access information, data, programs over the Internet without the need of a hard drive. The cloud is another word for the Internet. The cloud allows for information, data, and programs to be available anywhere at any time, as long as there is an Internet connection. With the convenience of the cloud, computers no longer need a lot of hardware or software. The only thing needed is the ability to run the cloud's computing system, which is normally just a web browser. There are many examples of cloud computing, ranging from software, email services, Google Documents, and many more. Web-based email services like Gmail are an example of cloud computing because all the storage and software for their email account is not stored on the hard drive of a computer, but instead are located on the service computer cloud online. Software as a Service, also known as SaaS, is a type of cloud computing that allows for one application to be delivered through the web browser to thousands of people. SaaS does not call for purchasing or investment in servers or software, and also allows for costs to be kept low for providers because it is a single application. Google Apps is an example of SaaS, and Salesforce.com is the best-known example of SaaS among enterprise applications. With all the focus shifting towards the cloud, many believe that the need for IT workers will decrease. Computer hardware is the next topic. This is the physical parts of a computer, which include the monitor, hard disk, data storage, keyboard, mouse, motherboard, and many more. Computer hardware is all able to be physically touched. There are 4 parts to hardware: input devices, processing units, storage devices, and output devices. Both laptops and desktops have similar hardware components. While hardware is what we have been relying on for years, it is soon going to be something of the past. The cloud is soon going to replace hardware and PCs, making everything accessible with internet connection. With hardware, anything that is saved can only be accessed on that particular PC. This is a major disadvantage, especially with the new technology of the cloud. In addition to this disadvantage, hardware is always constant need of updating, which is very expensive to the individual. Also, you need multiple of each program if there is more than one person needing to use it. If the hardware crashes, files that are lost forever, not backed up unless you do it manually. This is different from the cloud because the cloud has all information stored in multiple locations. Finally, the last topic is open source. Open source is software that can be used, changed, and shared by anyone for free. The idea of open source software started in the 90s, and the company Linux began writing the code for a new operating system that was more efficient than previous ones. With open source, the source code is made available to anyone for use, and it makes it possible to customize applications to suit different people's and business needs. Companies can take an already developed open source environment and customize the existing platform, all for a low price. There are many advantages to open source software. One advantage is that it reduces the risk to the supplier. Another is that it saves the buyer money because they are free. Besides being free, open source is always available. This can be a good and bad thing, because yes, that means it's available to you for free, but it's also available to your competition. Open source software is an alternative to licensed software. When comparing the two, open source would be the way to go because it does not cost a ton like licensed software. Since that was a lot of information to take in, let's have a quick review. The Internet of Things is a network of physical objects that are connected and have access to the Internet, creating new business models, processes, and reduction of costs. Cloud computing is the ability to access files, data, program, and other information anywhere, at any time, as long as there is Internet access. SaaS is a type of cloud computing that allows for one application to be delivered to thousands of people through a web browser. Computer hardware includes the physical parts of the computer and stores all information and programs on that particular PC, only accessible with access to the hard drive. Soon, computer hardware will be a thing of the past. Finally, open source, which is a free software that can be modified for different needs. Now you know a little more about the Internet of Computers and what they have to offer. The amount of opportunities that the Internet gives us are endless, and as technology advances, we will continue to see changes in how business is done. Thank you for your time.